Tariq?
So in the original paragraph, the paragraph is somewhat hard to follow because connecting words are missing. In the
Mm-hmm.
revised paragraph with the connecting words, it's easy to flows. The paragraph flows smoothly and easy to follow through the words and sentences, and from the topic sentence to the final sentences, it develops the idea of cellular representation, respiration uh, collectively.
Well, did you sense how a sentence could be made, a paragraph could be made really what? Distinct. How a paragraph could be made really distinct, coherent, and what? The third aspect, unified. Shall we read it with this new understanding? Now you see in the
Yes.
revised paragraph, cellular respiration is a fundamental metabolic process in cells responsible for converting nutrients into energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate. Now you see a wonderfully structured topic sentence starting telling that it is about cellular respiration, and it even gives what that process is in simpler terms, right? Where this whole thing happened. Okay, now it is connected to the topic sentence by directly taking the second sentence. This complex process, what is the complex process? Cellular respiration occurs in three distinct stages. Now you see, there is a wonderful paragraph organization. First, it tells what the process, and then it tells it has three distinct stages, and then the three stages are described. So it makes things easy for reader to decode your message. Well, let's read. This complex process occurs in three distinct stages: glycolysis, the citric acid cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation. Simply the three steps. Glycolysis, you see, directly jump into the first stage. What is it? Glycolysis initiates the breakdown of glucose into pyruvate, yielding a small amount of ATP, and occurs in the cytoplasm. It tells what is the state, what is the process, what it produces, and where it happens. Now you see, it is connected with a wonderful connecting word, subsequently, which means then, right? The citric acid cycle, the second cycle, it jumps to the second, which transpires within the mitochondria, further oxidizes pyruvate to produce additional ATP molecules, you see? And then come to the last. Finally, it doesn't say third. If it simply say thirdly or next, the reader may expect further steps as well. But here we told only three steps. So when first and second steps are told, it is the final. You see, these are clear signals for the reader to digest things little by little and come to a proper understanding. Finally, oxidative phosphorylation involves three electron transport chains, transport of electrons culminating in the synthesis of majority of ATP molecules. Now, the idea is made clear. Now it brings to the concluding sentence. You see, thus cellular respiration, Balan, it connects once again back to the topic sentence, the first phrase, cellular respiration, with its sequential stages, is indispensable for meeting cells' energy demands. That is what is discussed here. You see, this way of mastering a paragraph actually makes things easy for two stakeholders. Who are they? It makes things easy for two parts. Who are the two parts? Tariq? First, it makes easy for... Yeah. First, it makes easy for the writer to organize his idea coherently. And then it makes easy for the reader to decode the idea step by step, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, so you have seen what makes a distinct, unified, and coherent paragraph. Let us go to a second example. Here we are talking about another, another paragraph, original and a unified. Can you study the two paragraphs? Let us do it together, right? The internet has revolutionized communication by enabling instant connections across vast distances. With social media platforms and messaging apps, people can stay in touch with friends and family regardless of geographical barriers. Additionally, businesses can reach a global audience, expanding their customer base exponentially. Educational institutions utilize online platforms for remote learning, offering courses to students worldwide. The internet has truly transformed how we interact, work, and learn. Look at the unified paragraph. Study it and tell me, simply explain me how it made unified and different from the original. I'm giving you 5 minutes, yes? Study the unified paragraph and tell me particularly with what? With evidence, maybe you will be able to annotate. You can take a screenshot and do it annotation, or rather you can do the annotation here on screen as well. Study it first and then tell me how And how effectively does the writer make this paragraph a unified one? I think 5 minutes is enough, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take your time. Are you ready, Tariq?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you going to share your screen or are you going to do the annotations here? Or rather, you can, yes. Yes, now you can do it. You can have the mouse control. Tariq, please explain. Here is the toolbar. There you can take text boxes, highlighting or whatever you like, maybe underlining, right? Explain with that. Yes, please.
In the first paragraph, the first and second paragraph, the topic sentences are the same one.
Mhm.
But in the second sentences, when they say with social media platforms and messaging apps, people can stay in touch with friends and family regardless of the geographical barriers.
Yeah.
It doesn't directly connect with the topic sentences,
Yeah.
but in the second paragraph, this technological advancement has facilitated real-time interactions. This connects the technological and internet to the first sentences, top sentences, without deleting the social media and everything.
Yeah. Good point. Yes.
Uh, but this gives a connection, second sentence. Uh, in the first, additionally, businesses can reach a global audience, but in the second paragraph, they say more. This connection gives direct connection with the second sentences instead of the sorry, it gives the connection to the internet instead of the second sentence, which
Yeah.
means unifying with the topic sentence.
Great.
And um, and here they say business have leveraged the internet to access a global market, but they don't say in the first paragraph that they don't directly say businesses use internet that doesn't have a connection with the first topic sentence. So it gives a direct connection to the first topic sentences also. In the last two sentences, both are same,
But don't you see
but
the
it
yeah,
has
yeah.
a good flow.
But don't you see the concluding sentence is signaled with a new word? What is it?
Uh, cannot be overstated.
No, Putta. Now see how it begins. The concluding sentence begins. Overall. You see that particular word which
Yes,
right with the
they say
right
the internet has an impact on in how in
it is actually restated, but with the signal word overall, it tells that yes, this idea is now coming to a conclusion. Right? That's why he goes into overall discussion. So what is overall discussion? Internet impacted how we interact, work, learn. And he says it cannot be overstated. You see, these are typical STEM related examples of how to make a paragraph unified. Yes. Let us move on to a third exercise in which I want you to try your own write up. Let us move and see what it is. Now, you see, the idea is this. Read the sentences given and then try to arrange them into a coherent paragraph. So I have given several sentences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I am inviting you to make it a coherent paragraph. For this, you need to work on a paper, working on connecting them, and maybe you have to restate, maybe you have to bring some words and you may remember the parallel structure, right? And yeah, the things that we have learned so far, I want you to put them all into a practice by making these 6 sentences into a unified, coherent, and what? paragraph of all those three features of a standard paragraph in STEM writing. How long do you need for this, Puta? I think once again 5 minutes is enough, but this time you have to write it, right? You can
Okay.
work you can work on a Word document, perhaps, right? If you want, I'll send you the 5 sentences in chat for you to copy it down so that you can work on a what? Uh, Work on a Word document and make it a coherent one quickly. Here I sent it. Copy it down and make it a coherent paragraph. You can do it in 5, 6 minutes, I'm sure. Tariq, when you're ready, let me know.
A monster is forming in the Pacific Ocean, and the bad news is official. Scientists have confirmed that by November 2026, there's a 100% probability that a super El Nino will fully develop. And here's how rare this is. In all of recorded history, we have only seen 4 super El Ninos. This will be the 5th and possibly the strongest one in 150 years. Here's why it matters to every single person on Earth. El Nino is when the Pacific Ocean warms up beyond normal. But a super El Nino is something else entirely. It happens when ocean temperatures rise more than 2 degrees Celsius above average. And that tiny number is enough to bend the jet streams of the entire planet. And once those jet streams bend, the weather you know disappears. The result is that some parts of the world will face brutal droughts. Others will drown in record rainfall. Atlantic hurricanes will be suppressed, while Pacific storms will explode in size. And here's where it gets really serious. A super El Nino can push global temperatures even higher than they already are. So high that scientists are warning we could temporarily breach the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit set by the Paris Agreement. That's the climate target the entire world agreed to protect. Now, here's the fascinating part. The last time the Pacific Ocean warmed up this fast was in 1877.
Tariq, are you there? Do you need time?
Yes, sir. Still didn't complete the activity, sir.
Okay, okay. Take your time and send me the final. Tariq, I think it's not a big deal, but yes, you must be thinking a little. You can use some of these sentences as it is. Great. Let me take this into a Word document and take it to, yes. Let me share the new. Yes. Here's what you have written. So we are going to evaluate how you did it. Scientific research often begins with the hypothesis, which is proposed explanation for a phenomenon. So you have to take this as your topic sentence, right? Okay, I'm bold, making it bold. It's your topic sentence. Okay. Once a hypothesis is formulated, researchers conduct experiments or gather data to test its validity. Then the findings, so you use then, okay. The findings are, then you use it twice. Analyze to determine whether they support or go against the hypothesis. Based on the analysis, okay, made by the scientist, conclusions are drawn. This prepared hypothesis may be accepted or rejected. This cycle process of hypothesis formation, experimental analysis, and conclusion forms the basis of scientific method. Okay. Now, Tariq, that's a good attempt. You had very little time. But if you are to make this much more convincing paragraph of uniqueness, unity, and unified nature, what I'm inviting you is to just consider this topic sentence first. Scientific research often begins with a hypothesis, which is a proposed explanation for phenomena. Let us go back to the original. What is it? Now, this is not about hypothesis as all. It is about scientific what? Process, right? Scientific method කියන අදහස තමයි අපි මෙතන highlight කරන්න හදන්නේ. Right? So you need to rewrite a topic sentence here to introduce your paragraph. Right? So if I happen to do this, I would say scientific research follows a very coherent scientific method accepted in science literature. Okay? Then I typically remove this. Connecting it with this often begins with formation of a hypothesis, which is a proposed explanation or a phenomenon. Right? Then good. Once hypothesis is formulated, I think that can be simply replaced like then. or rather following the set hypothesis, researchers conduct experiments, gather data to validity. Okay. Then the findings are analyzed to determine whether they support or go against the hypothesis. Tariq, are you there? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Based on the analysis made by the scientist. So you don't need to say it, the analysis, because we are moving to analysis, right? The analysis forms the basis for conclusion or conclusions. We know that it's done by scientists, right? There, අන්න එතනදි තමයි මොකද්ද සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ? The hypothesis may be accepted or rejected. It is simply during the analysis it happens. This cycle process of hypothesis formation. So you can say a word like altogether, this cyclic process of hypothesis formation, experimentation, analysis, and conclusion forms the basis of the scientific method. Do you see how it is now appearing? How do you feel it right
Yes.
now? How do you feel the new look of the paragraph now?
It has a good flow without repeating the same thing again and again.
Yes. This is what we call paragraphing in what? In scientific writing. So that is what I wanted to teach you today. Actually, as you announced last afternoon that you are not going to join, and of course, one of my friends happened to have a sudden attack. I happened to take him to the hospital as well. That's why we could not have it. But I think we invested our time properly in understanding how to develop a paragraph, unified, coherent, and distinct. Have we invested our time properly, Putta?
Yes, sir.
So with that, I'm going to wind up today's session. How about this new time? Or no. We will go back to the usual time next week. I'm actually thinking of having 2 sessions next week to make one in the morning and one in the afternoon. I'll inform it in the group. And I'm going to work a lot on your LMS. I could not do much because I was actually busy. I was working with the Ministry of Youth Affairs on a new project. Therefore, I had to spend a lot of my time there. I did not have time to work on the Moodle and all that. But this week, you'll be getting it updated, with which you'll be able to follow the rest. Tariq, did you have a good time learning something?
Yes, sir.
Well, then shall I say goodbye, because we are going to wind up for the day, and we'll meet certainly next week with new stuff. Thank you very much for joining this evening, Putta. Bye.
Thank you, sir.